Hey, kia ora, Markie here again, the RJ Walrus, with another video on retroactive jealousy. And this is one I should have done a long time ago, really. This has been, I realise, conspicuous by its absence. So today we are going to talk about the golden rule. Okay, before we get into that, welcome to the channel. This is the Mark the Demystify and Retroactive Jealousy channel. It's a smorgasbord of different things. Lots and lots of stuff on retroactive jealousy and lots of stuff on other things as well. So if you're just interested in the retroactive jealousy stuff, go to the playlist and that will take you straight to the RJ stuff. And you don't have to worry about the other bits, but, you know, make yourself at home, you know, have a browse. Check out some of the other goodies on offer here. So, the golden rule, he says, rolling his R's. The golden rule is, this comes from Zachary Stockhill, and I can't recall whether Zachary actually calls this the golden rule, or whether he might just refer to it in other ways. Either way, I'm sure he would not disagree with me that this merits the title, the golden rule, and is one of the most important things in retroactive jealousy recovery. It's also one of the most difficult. Okay, so the golden rule is, I like rolling my R's. I learned to do that. I taught myself to do it. I was inspired by the flute playing of Ian Anderson from Jethro Tull, and I learnt to trill with my tongue. There we go. So you don't get this on other retroactive jealousy channels. I like to think that, you know, the whole approach is kind of welcoming and homely. For some it probably drives you mad, but, you know, hey, we're all different. And if you like this channel, great. If it's not quite for you, check out Zachary. So, yes, the golden rule is simply stop asking questions. Specifically, questions about your partner's past. And specifically about their sexual or romantic past. You know, you can ask them, questions about their past. That's okay, but stop seeking information which is designed to or intended to reassure you about things that you are ruminating and worrying about. Okay, so why is that important? It's important because retroactive jealousy is a short circuit in the brain, to put it simply. Or that's one of the big theories around it. Check out Jeffrey Schwartz and the book Brain Lock. That basically for some of us there is some miswiring in the frontal lobes, the part of the brain at the front, whereby we have a kind of rinse, wash and repeat cycle going on, rather than things kind of just being filed in the great filing cabinet at the back of the brain. They go round and round and round and round. Okay, so it's believed to be at least partially an organic brain problem. So does that mean we have to have brain surgery to recover from retroactive jealousy, Markie? No, thankfully not, although sometimes it's tempting. What we need to do is just find ways to break that cycle. If we break that cycle, interrupt that process, then things start to change. Okay, so one of the techniques for doing this is something called the antidote technique, and I've got another video on that, so check out the antidote technique. Very practical technique. But even before you get into the antidote technique, this is real fundamental stuff, is stop asking questions. So what happens with any form of, or certainly with this form of obsessive compulsive disorder, is you have two parts. You have the kind of the anxiety and then the reassurance seeking behavior. Okay, so the anxiety is the obsessive part and the reassurance seeking behavior is the compulsive part that makes up the obsessive compulsive disorder. So it's easier to change your behavior than it is to change your thinking processes. So that's why we start with the behavior. Okay, and this is a really good way to break that cycle. So what happens is the cycle kind of runs, you know this because you've experienced it. Okay, so the cycle runs like this. Something gets into your head and niggles about something in your partner's past, something that doesn't sit right, feels uncomfortable, feels bad, feels wrong, makes you feel horrible. Okay, and you think, maybe it wasn't that bad, maybe I'm just making more of it than it is. So you say to your partner, did you really sleep with the entire Coldstream Guards? And then they say, oh, no, not at all. And then you feel, thank God for that. And then they say, no, I just slept with the 1st Battalion, and then you feel worse. Now, I'm being a bit flippant. Usually what the process is you get immediate reassurance and relief, but by asking the question you then get more material, and then it's more material to think on, so the brain then applies itself to that new material. So she says, no, I didn't. I always use female examples, so I try and mix it up a bit. So the partner says, no, we didn't have sex, and then you feel better, and then you think, oh, does that mean that if he said he didn't have sex, but what does he mean by sex? Does he mean penetration? Perhaps they had oral sex. Perhaps they, heavy petting, to use an old-fashioned phrase. Perhaps there's all this other stuff kind of went on, and what he means by sex is sexual intercourse. So then you worry and miser about that and go round and round, and then you ask another question. So, I just want to come back to you on this. It's like Columbo, isn't it? There's a few things bugging me. And you come back and you say, what did you mean by sex? And then you get a bit more information, and then hopefully that reassures you. No, we didn't have sex. But then the mind goes, and it's an endless cycle. And you've got to break it. Sooner or later you have to break. You will not, I repeat, you will not recover from retroactive jealousy if you do not apply the golden rule and stop the questions. I say questions, it's not just questions, it's reassurance seeking behaviours. Okay, so the reassurance seeking behaviour might be to go on your partner's Facebook, or to look at your partner's diary, which are all things that you should not be doing. Okay, that's really bad boundary breaking. But people do it, and they're doing it to seek reassurance. So stop all the reassurance seeking behaviours. Will you succeed in that first time around? Probably not, no. And this is important, okay? So you will probably, if you're new in recovery, you will probably have that intention, and then you'll cave in and you will ask a question, or you will invade privacy. Hopefully not, but you might. Don't beat yourself up about that, because that's part of the process of recovery. But as soon as you realise that you're doing that, stop, ground yourself, have a word with yourself, give your head a shake, talk to somebody, get some help from somebody that is helpful and knows a little bit about retroactive jealousy, get some support, apologise, most importantly, and then get back on the track. And this is where I think the last video I recorded just a couple of seconds ago was about using internet for Facebook groups and stuff like that. And one of the things that's really, I think is a really good use of those is suppose, I really want to ask a question, I'm sort of trying so hard not to, but I'm frightened that I'm going to do it, and ask for support and get everybody to say, no, hang on in there, don't do it, it's not worth it. So you don't have to face that alone. It is difficult, okay, but that, you can't skip this step, you can't. Okay, if you keep asking questions, if you keep seeking reassurance, you will never get well. Okay, so not to say that it's easy, but you have to start. If you want to get well, you have to start, and you have to start kind of fighting that urge. Okay, and you probably will make the odd mistake, but just get back on it. The old analogy, fall off a horse, get back on it. Okay, I hope that's helpful. That is the long-awaited, conspicuous by its absence, video on the golden rule, and credit to Zachary Stockhill, because I think he was the first one that kind of came up with that concept, and I think he, hats off to him for that. So yeah, stand by for more RJ videos. What I try and do is balance what I release. So I release what I try and do is if I release one on retroactive jealousy, I release one on something else, so that everybody's happy, really. So look out for more. Please consider becoming a patron on my Patreon channel, which is where you can sponsor me and help me produce more videos, and hopefully better quality videos without shaky cameras the wrong way around, which I do because I'm spontaneous and impulsive, and when I get the mood to do a video, I just grab the iPhone and crack on with the video. So that's why, and I probably will never stop doing that, but hopefully with more resources I can start to improve the quality and the production of the videos in other ways. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon in the next one. Rangimarie.